Hey, what is up guys? It's Brennan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Zoho Invoice, doing a tutorial on how to use Zoho Invoice for beginners, step by step exactly how to get started with Zoho Invoice, which is again a free invoicing software for you in your small business. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at here in today's video. Of course, if you don't already have a Zoho Invoice account, you can go ahead and sign up for free at that first link down below in the description box. Again, that is brennanvalesky.com/Zoho-invoice, and then we'll take you right over to this page here where you can go ahead and get signed up with Zoho Invoice for free. Again, some of those links down below in the description are affiliate links, which is a great way to help out and support the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial. So again, if you want to follow along and you have not already signed up with Zoho Invoice, it is that first link down below in the description. So once you've gone ahead and signed up with Zoho Invoice, now before we dive into the actual software, again, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to use it as well in this video. I did want to touch on the pricing and the fact that, yes, it is available now for free as well. So it is completely free to get signed up with Zoho Invoice. This is a free software. It's different than some of the other Zoho softwares, which have like limitations on their free versions or are only free trials, whereas Zoho Invoice is actually completely for free for their invoicing software. So you can accept online payments, create, send quotes. I'll be getting into, again, the software in just a moment here. Again, it is a free invoicing software for small business. So we can create professional invoices, send invoices, and receive payments as well through a variety of different payment gateways as well that you have to choose from. So without further ado, let's go ahead and actually dive into the software. So as you can see here, once you get signed up with Zoho Invoice, this is what your dashboard will look like. Now, to show you what it looks like, of course, this is sort of the getting started process. Now, first, you can go ahead and start customizing your invoices. So as you can see here, welcome to Zoho Invoice. This is your top tier invoicing starts here. So you can configure Zoho Invoice according to their step setup guide. So this is where you will then pick, the template that you want to go with. So for this tutorial, we're going to keep things pretty simple, but they have a standard option, a spreadsheet option, a continental option, and a compact option. So if you want standard, spreadsheet style, compact, you kind of have a variety of different looks and feels depending on how you want your invoices to look. So, you could really go through here and pick whatever you like, depending on if you like where the item and description is labeled, the quantity, the rate, and the amount. We're just going to stick with standard for this video. And you can also add your organization's logo. So you can upload a logo there. We're just going to leave it blank as the standard, but it will upload a logo. You have the option to change the color. So you can change like the background color. If you want to change the background color, and obviously that's like way too bright. This is a great place to like make sure that your invoices actually match your branding. So you do have the selection and choice here, so that your invoices will match your overall like company branding and overall color scheme that you have within your business. So they do also have swatch options if you just want to select one of those colors and apply it. You also have that choice there, so you can go ahead and change the label, from black if you want to change things there like that, like that color as well, or that would be the font, and then the label color you can also change. So that would be for some of the text labeling. We're gonna go ahead and go back to what looked pretty simple and standard because we want it to be more legible, things like that, of course. So we're just gonna go back to that white color on the color scheme here, and all you have to do is like drag it all the way up in there. And okay, good enough. And we'll change the labels back to black. And there we go. So, that looks pretty decent. You can go ahead and, change more of the customizations. We'll take a look at that a little bit later in this tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and save and proceed. And then how do you want to receive payments? So this is the section where you would then go ahead and set up your online payment gateways, or you can just use cash as well. So if you are going to be just accepting cash in your business, You have that option there, as well as setting up an online payment gateway. This is so your customers can actually pay you online. Now, I'm not going to be going through the sign up process of the different online payment gateways. There are a variety of different options. So you have options like Stripe, Square, PayPal, Authorize.net. I do talk a lot about these on the channel as well. So if you are interested in learning more about different types of payment gateways, I do also have a video on that on the channel. It's just best payment gateways. If you are interested in trying to choose between them, a lot of times it ultimately does come down to what country you're located in as to which option might be best for you, as well as the overall credit card processing rate. That's where you're going to encounter, how much it costs for you to process credit cards, is where those fees come from. So that's something to bear in mind as well. For this video, we're just going to keep it simple and keep it as cash, but that's where you would then set up, online payments. So here, you can change your invoice. You can make it a recurring invoice, set up payment links, credit notes as well if you want to. So, you can edit these however you want in terms of, what's available. So we'll set up recurring invoice and payment links as well. So we're going to go ahead and create our first invoice. So again, as you can see, it is pretty easy to just walk through and create invoices in here. Now, this is where you're going to be adding in your customers. Now, this customer data will be saved and synced within Zoho Invoice. They do also have an app that is worth mentioning too, that you can download as well. So as you can see here, this is what the app is available on and what it looks like when you have the app. So again, this tutorial is just on the desktop version or the web and laptop website version. But they do also have an app as well for Zoho Invoice. So when you go in here, you're going to select or add new customer. So we're going to go ahead and add a new customer. So the contact we're going to say is Joe Schmo. And we can say the company is Schmo Industries, something like that. And then you can add their customer email, work phone, a mobile phone, payment terms that you would typically have for a specific customer. So you can set that as like the net 15, net 30. That would be the total time period that they have to actually make the payment of the invoice. You can make it due at the end of the month, due at the end of next month, due on receipt. Personally, I like due on receipt, just myself. You can also, enable a portal for them to be able to then see transactions, make online payments. They can see their transaction history, which can be nice if you are interested in that. You can also add, obviously the language that you're going to be sending it in, as well as documents. If you're going to be adding documents, there are also additional details you can add. I mean, you can add customer website, social media, things like that as well if you want. So there are a lot of fields here in terms of, all the information that that you may want to include on a customer file. You can also include addresses, of course. Adding the business address can be pretty necessary in a lot of times. I know that some customers and clients will need to have a business address on the invoice, so that's something worth keeping in mind. You can also set up some custom fields and internal remarks for certain customers there too. So we're going to go ahead and, we're just going to go, that is the name. Okay, customer portal is only available when their email is added. Well, we have not added their email because we're not going to create a fake email for this. So we're going to go ahead and save it. So as you can see here, now we have the customer added in here. And then we have the invoice number. So this is where you would then add the invoice number. You can keep it sort of the INV thing, or you can really just type in anything that you want here. So we'll just go with 23. As you can see here, yeah, so it will automatically continue auto-generating invoice numbers. So you can add your own manual invoice numbers, or you can just have auto-generating. Auto-generating is nice because then the management on your end of things is fairly consistent, so you don't have to worry about accidentally maybe making something the same invoice number. So you can also just do that instead as well. Invoice date, you can go ahead and put it on the date of the invoice. We'll just stick to today. due on receipt. We have the due date. And now in terms of the items, this is where you're going to add in your item table and adding in the services. So let's just say grass cut. So maybe this is like a lawn care company or something like that. And the rate is for this lawn is $160. Let's just say it's like a big lawn. I don't know. And then you're also going to add in weed trimming or something like that. Yard trimmings, right? And that's going to be, let's just say an extra $30. I don't know. So it comes out to $190. And you can continue adding these rows. You can also add things in bulk or a header for subsections if you really want to get creative in terms of like the overall look of your invoice. If you do have like invoice subsections of like what things cost, just so you can break it out easier for your customers. And if you need to as well, you can also move these around too. So you can move them up and down and all around if you need to. And that's it. So you can go ahead and, save and print, save for later, save and send later, or save it as a draft. We're just going to go ahead and save this as a draft. And then this is what the invoice will look like. So as you can see here, you have your company details will be in the top left. Now, for this company, for this tutorial, it's like Joe Schmo, Florida, USA, and it will have your company email address listed there as well. And you can go ahead and add your logo too. That's where that will appear. Again, I did not do that for just the sake of this tutorial. And then we're billing the customer is Schmo Industries, which is who we're billing, and we're charging them for a grass cut and some weed trimming for $160 and then $30 a subtotal. And the total there is $190. Now, if you do have sales tax, that is something else you can add in the invoice or just as part of your business settings. That's when you're signing up initially. Just bear that in mind as well. But that is what the template looks like. Now, you can go here and change it too if you have, other templates that you already have saved. Again, we just have the standard template. So yeah, that's what the invoice looks like. You can go ahead and easily send it, and it will send out through your invoices. Now, in addition to invoices, you do also have quoting. So you can also do quoting within Zoho Invoice. You can create new quotes. It's essentially the same process that you're going through from an invoice, but instead this is like a quote for a job. So let's just say lawn scope or lawn service or something like that, right? And let's just say it's $1,000 because they let their lawn get crazy overgrown. But we'll give them a new customer discount of like 5% or something like that. No shipping charges, no adjustments. You can add terms and conditions, additional files, contact people as well. So this would be the quote that you would save and send out to your customer. You can also add an expiration date. So let's just say like, if they don't let me know by the next week, then boom, this offer is no longer valid. There's also, a salesperson. You can also add in here different projects, subject as to what the quote is for. And yeah, so you can go ahead and save this as a draft. And this is what a quote will look like. Now, quotes look very similar to invoices, so there's really not, too much to distinguish from, but it is a little bit different because there is an expiration date. And it's important to explain that obviously a quote is a quote. It's an estimate. Essentially, the invoice is then that final number that is what is going to be paid on. You also have payment links is another option that you can set up in here within Zoho Invoice. So I figured I would include this as part of the tutorial. So you can create payment links. So let's just say they need to send you $200 and you don't feel like typing out an entire invoice, or maybe there was an underpayment or something like that. Tell your customer, let's just say underpayment, generate link, and boom. So then you can, generate a link just to get paid on something really quickly and easily. And then you can have your customer go and easily pay you off of that link. Now, this is really makes sense if you're accepting online payments, obviously, versus cash. You would need to collect that in person. But this is another feature within the software that can be nice just to also get, funds if something was messed up, or if you just want to generate a quick payment link instead of going through the process of creating an entire invoice. So there's an option there. Payments received. So this is where you're going to be viewing your unpaid invoices, as well as, anything that's paid throughout the client portal. As you can see here, this is sort of the life cycle of the customer payment, as well as the unpaid invoices process. So it will send out an initial request, and then it will also send out 3 reminders, 1, 2, 3, for unpaid invoices. Now, again, we don't have any unpaid invoices because, again, I haven't sent any invoices out directly, but that is where you will then see them here in the payments received section. You can also set up recurring invoices. So this is great maybe if you have a service-based business. So we're going to go ahead and create a new recurring invoice. As you can see here, we're going to set this profile name as lawn or something like that. It's going to repeat every 2 weeks. So like on a bi-weekly period, due on receipt. And we're going to say it is... You can also set quantities. Of course, I haven't been changing the quantities here in this video, but if you were to do like, 2 lawns or 2 houses or something like, I don't know, 2 houses of something, and it's maybe, $90 a pop, then 180. So you can set quantities here too. You need 3 of something, certain items, you can just go ahead and easily quote things out that way. Cut. We're going to say it's a cut, a lawn cut. And boom. So this is how you would set it up as repeating. So you do have multiple options in terms of how often you want things to repeat. You can make them a custom repeat. So every, maybe every 3 weeks or something like that. You can get really in the weeds with it in terms of like every 2 years, 1 day, every other day or something like that. Or you can use the presets like once a week or every 2 weeks or even just once a month. For the monthly bills. So you can get monthly recurring revenue through your Zoho Invoice account, which is very nice and important for a lot of service-based businesses to build up their monthly recurring revenue so that hey, how much money is coming in every month, all those types of things. Now, in terms of, getting paid, of course, we're just going to go ahead and save here. That's just an active one. Then you also do have expenses here. Now, expenses are a bit different from regular invoicing. So expenses is part of like a separate software as far as how Zoho Invoice operates. They do have a software which is, more advanced for travel and expense reporting. I just covered Zoho Expense in a separate video. If you are interested in checking that out, it is linked on the channel as well, just under Zoho Expense. That is more for advanced expense tracking. You can record, basic expenses in here within Zoho Invoice, but, it's not necessarily as dynamic as like Zoho Expense. So that is something worth keeping in mind. I get a lot of you watching this video probably don't necessarily care about expense tracking as part of your invoicing, but this can be, something if you have expenses that you're going to be, recording and then, getting reimbursed for. That's something you can do within here as well. I get it's maybe not as common for sending out invoices. Same could be said as well for doing, your invoicing and then also keeping track of that in terms of accounting. That would be, again, another separate software from Zoho. That would be under Zoho Books, which is their online accounting software. So I figured I would also mention those 2 softwares because they also do sort of pair with Zoho Invoice, the Zoho Expense, as well as Zoho Books. I just covered those again in other videos here on the channel if you are interested in checking those videos out as well. Now, in addition, into the other parts of the software within Zoho Invoice, they do also have a time tracking feature, so you can track the overall timelines of projects and how, what things are billable and whatnot. Within it as well. So you can base on project hours, the rate per hour, fixed cost per project, task hours. So you can log the total amount of, hours used on a task, which can be important, depending on the rate per hour. Say someone's rate is like, $20 an hour or something like that, or $30 an hour. You can add all the people that are going to be assigned to that specific job. And then you can track, the overall hours and just calculate it out that way if you want to create a project and bill things on your invoice based on hours as well. So that's something else that you can do here within the software. You do also have overall reports as well. So you can see, all of your invoices and reports in here, such as customer balances, sales by customer, total amounts of invoices. You can get pretty detailed into the overall sales that are billed out to different customers as well. So that's something else worth keeping in mind. Now, once you do get sales rolling through in the Zoho invoice, you can also track your invoices and sales receipts all through the sales and expenses. So similar to what you would have out of like an accounting software, you do also sort of get a little bit of those data analytics as far as your overall sales in invoicing receipts within Zoho Invoice. Again, it is a completely free software, so it is nice that these aspects are included in terms of like last 12 months, fiscal year. You can really get a good overall view of your receivables in your business as well as part of Zoho Invoice beyond it just creating a basic invoice. I get that a lot of other softwares out there are just like, oh, we can, you can make an invoice, but it doesn't really do much beyond that. So that is one of the nice things about Zoho Invoice as well. Now, again, in terms of configuring the payment gateways, this is how you do it. There are quite a few to go through. Again, I'm not going to be signing up for a payment gateway here. I personally would recommend Stripe is a good one. Again, I do have other videos on the channel going over and comparing between Square. Square is another great one. PayPal I use a lot. Authorize.net is another good one. So again, it just depends on what country you're in order to actually accept those payments through the payment gateway setting within your software. So again, that would be going to online payments. And then as you can go through here, so that again, that's under settings, online payments. And then this is where you would then go ahead and select what, payment processor and way that you want to go ahead and accept payments. I would recommend as well doing either ACH. ACH typically does cut down on the fees. You can still accept credit and debit card as well as another option there as well within the software. So again, you can set up more additional branding features as well, maybe light paint, dark paint, accent colors. You can even edit in here within your invoicing software. You can also add your logo. Again, that will show up on your transaction PDFs, email notifications, and things that you go ahead and send out on your invoices. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much a Zoho Invoice. Again, if you found this video helpful or want to sign up with Zoho Invoice, again, you can go ahead and check out that first link down below in the description box. Again, that is brennanvalesky.com/Zoho-invoice. Take you right over to this page here where you can go ahead and get signed up with Zoho Invoice for free. Again, guys, if you found this video helpful or enjoyed it, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that was all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.